Chris Churchill from Worcester, John Moody from Totton in Hampshire, Jerry Ram from Croydon in Surrey, Jill Mason from Dartford in Kent, Julian Pallett from Newton Abbot in Devon, Steve Bradley from Wandsworth in London, Bill McKaig from Glasgow, Maureen MacDonald from Omagh in County Tyrone, Estelle Cohen from Prestwich in Greater Manchester, Olive Smith from Urchester in Northamptonshire, Richie Venner from Crawley in West Sussex, Richard Dosser-Davis from Whitney in Oxfordshire, Findy McMahon from Wembley in Middlesex, Brian Truman from Romilly in Cheshire, and Ray Waygang from Leyston in Suffolk are all here to play 15 to 1. Introduced by William G. Stewart.
Thank you. Hello, our previous winner today is Julian Pallett from Newton Abbot in Devon. Welcome back, Julian. With 25 games to go before the grand final, our finals board competition is still wide open, and we've hundreds of entries still in with a chance. Though, interestingly enough, apart from Mr. Murphy's highest score of 1,000, we did have a couple of dozen who couldn't possibly have won because their entries ended with a figure above 3, and several had scores above 433 and lower than the bottom score on the finals board when the competition opened. There is the finals board, and today's target is again Frank Gill. Let's make a start. 2 questions each in the first round, 1 correct answer from you to survive, and we start with Chris Churchill from Worcester. Chris, astronomy. Which heavenly body, last sighted in 1985-86, is due again in the year 2061?
Halley's Comet.
John, please. There is a small island off Sicily on which stands a famous volcano of the same name. What name?
Etna.
Stromboli. Jerry, please. Classic television. Of which character in a comedy series from the 1970s was it said, "I'm sorry, he's from Barcelona"? Manuel in 40 Towers. Yes. Jill, which European capital city lies at the mouth of the River Tagus?
Lisbon.
Julian, which member of the royal family will represent the Queen at the official handing over ceremony in Hong Kong in June?
Prince Philip.
Prince Charles. Steve, films. Brenda Blethyn, Helen Mirren and Alan Rickman were among the British winners at the annual awards made by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association in January. What are those awards called?
BAFTA.
The Golden Globe Awards. Bill, Shakespeare. Who are the respective husbands of Calpurnia and Portia in a Shakespeare play?
It's Julius Caesar.
And who else?
And Brutus.
Yes. Maureen, what botanical symbol is used by the Countryside Commission to mark national trails? An acorn. Estelle, which series of wars in the 15th century began with the Battle of St Albans and ended with the Battle of Bosworth Field?
The Wars of the Roses.
Olive, please. Opera. Verdi. In which Verdi opera do the Merry Wives of Windsor dump an old knight into the River Thames?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Falstaff, who is, of course, the old knight. Richie, British Prime Ministers. Winston Churchill, Anthony Eden, Harold Macmillan. Who came next?
Douglas Hume.
Indeed, Sir Alec. Richard, American literature. A Farewell to Arms. Death in the Afternoon. The Sun Also Rises. The author, please.
Oh, sorry.
Ernest Hemingway. Findy, the Exmoor National Park extends into 2 counties. Which 2 counties?
Devon and Cornwall.
Somerset and Devon. Brian, the statue of which 9th century Anglo-Saxon king holds aloft a raised sword in the city of Winchester?
Sorry, I don't know.
Alfred the Great. Ray, what positions in public life are held by Nigel de Gruchy, John Edmonds and Doug McAvoy?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
They are General Secretaries of Trade Unions. Chris, your second question. What rank in the Royal Navy does the Duke of York hold?
Commander?
No, he's a lieutenant commander. There's a different rank. John, BBC Radio. Your 100 Best Tunes and Sing Something Simple are 2 of the longest running shows on radio. The decade, please, in which they both began their runs.
50s.
Indeed, the 1950s. Jerry, geology. Sapphire and ruby are precious varieties of which hard mineral?
I don't know.
Corundum. Jill, literature. The name, please, of Sherlock Holmes' brother.
Begins with an M, but I can't remember it.
Mycroft. Julian, aviation. Sabina World Airlines is based in which European capital city?
Belgium. Brussels.
Steve, aviation again. What's the national airline of Greece called?
Olympic.
Bill, please. Newspapers. Until 1964, it was the Daily Herald. What is it now called?
The Sun.
It is indeed. Maureen, films. The 1997 UK release, That Thing You Do, is which double Oscar-winning actor's debut as a director? Tom Hanks. Estelle, football. Which Premiership football team plays its home games at the baseball ground?
Derby County.
Olive, please. The British Isles. Kirkwall is the administrative headquarters of which group of islands?
The Orkneys.
Richie, please. Astronomy. For the discovery of which planet in 1930 is Clyde Tombaugh, who died in January of this year, best remembered?
Pluto.
Richard, please. Europe. In which East European republic is the main monetary unit called the lek?
Romania.
Albania. Findy, the British author H.C. McNeill, best known for a series of thrillers featuring Bulldog Drummond. How is he better known?
I haven't a clue.
Sapper. Brian, please. The United States. Which American city in Massachusetts has the nickname Athens of America?
Sorry, I don't know.
Boston. And Ray, the name, please, of the present Emperor of Japan.
Hirohito.
Akihito. Hirohito was his father. 6 down, 9 to go. Laura?
And they are Jerry Ram, Maureen MacDonald, Richard Dossett-Davis, Findy McMahon, Brian Truman and Ray Waygang. And of the remaining 9 contestants, 3 still have their 3 lives intact.
Here we go, Chris, round 2. The name, please, of the British designer who is the designer for the Dior label and who made his haute couture debut in January of this year. John Galliano. John, mythology. Which hero in Greek legend gave the head of Medusa to the goddess Athena, who wore it on her shield?
No.
Perseus. Jill, famous seconds. This one in sport. Roger Bannister was in 1954 the first man to break the 4-minute mile. Who, later in the same year, was the second?
I don't remember.
The Australian John Landy. Julian, who in religious art are symbolised together by an angel, a winged lion, a winged ox and an eagle? The 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. Steve, television. The name, please, of the presenter who connects the programmes Holiday and Crime Watch UK and the 6 o'clock news on the BBC.
Jill Dando.
A number, please.
Number 10.
Shakespeare, Olive. What symbol of their reconciliation do the Montagues and the Capulets promise after the deaths of Romeo and Juliet?
No, it's gone.
They promised to build a statue of Juliet. Again, please, Steve.
Number 5.
Julian, the name, please, of the commercial radio station which broadcasts from the Republic of Ireland to approximately 2/3 of the United Kingdom without a licence to do so.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
Atlantic, 252. Again, please, Steve.
Number 7.
Bill, which French cathedral city was the traditional coronation place for the kings of France?
Ream.
A number, please, Bill.
10.
English literature, Olive. Which novel by George Eliot is the tale of a linen weaver living in the country during the Industrial Revolution?
Milan Floss.
Silas Marner, the linen weaver. Again, please, Bill.
11.
Richie, Which motorway, entirely in the county of Kent, runs southeast from Rochester towards Dover?
M2.
A number, please, Richie.
Number 2, please.
Opera, Puccini, John. A tiny hand is frozen, a waltz leads to a reconciliation, and the heroine dies in a cold garret. Which Puccini opera is that?
Madame Butterfly.
La Bohème. Again, please, Richie.
Number 4, please.
Jill, World War II. What was the scheme planned by the Germans and called Operation Bernhardt?
The invasion of Britain?
No, that was Operation Sea Lion that never took place. This was to flood Britain with forged currency and undermine the economy. Again, please, Richie.
Number 6, please.
The royal family, Steve. Which British monarch this century was the father of only daughters?
No.
George VI. The present Queen and Margaret were his 2 daughters. Richie, please, again.
Number 1, please.
Chris, the round-the-world yachtsman Sir Francis Chichester. In which other area was he a pioneer?
Aviation.
Yes. He made the first New Zealand to Australia flight across the Tasman Sea. Again, please.
Number 9.
North America, please, Estelle. Which range of mountains stretches for some 3,300 miles from New Mexico in the United States through Canada and into Alaska?
The Rockies.
A number, please.
Number 6.
Steve, still the Rocky Mountains. 8 states make up what are called the Rocky Mountain states in America. 2 of the 8, please.
Montana
And?
California.
No. Montana's okay. Idaho, Colorado, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Arizona, and New Mexico. Estelle, please.
Number 1.
Religion, also known as the tent of meeting, by what name was the center of worship of the Israelites during early biblical times known?
I haven't the foggiest idea.
The tabernacle. That was short and very tough. It is 12 down, 3 to go, and after the break, Bill McKaig from Glasgow, Estelle Cohen from Prestwich, Greater Manchester, and Richie Venner from Crawley in West Sussex will be here for the final. Do please stay with us.
3 surviving contestants in today's 15-to-1 final are Bill McKaig, a minister from Glasgow. He is a minister with the Church of Scotland and works in the Gorbals area of Glasgow. His interests include cooking and opera, and he is a keen follower of Scottish cricket and supporter of Greenock Morton Football Club. Estelle Cohen, a retired secretary from Prestwich in Greater Manchester. She retired 10 years ago and enjoys European travel when she can afford it, reading, knitting, playing cards and watching television quiz shows. And Richie Venner, an electrician from Crawley in West Sussex. He works for a company that deals mainly with moisture control and the drying out of flooded buildings. In his spare time, he plays a lot of table tennis and is currently a position number 1 in Sussex and number 19 in England. His other interest is football, and he supports Crawley Town Football Club.
Thank you. Welcome back. Bill, Estelle, Richie, put your fingers on the buzzers. First to buzz gets a chance to answer first of you with 3 correct answers. That opens the game up, and after that, it's question or nominate. Remember, you have 4 targets. Firstly, a win with any score will do. A win with a score above 142 would give one of you a place on the finals board. A win with a score around 180 might easily be okay for a place in the grand final. And a score above 272 would put you in the running for our finals board trophy. If you're happy with all of that, here we go. Awards and honours. The Oscar-winning lyricist was awarded a knighthood in the Queen's Birthday Honours List in 1994. The composer was knighted in 1992 and made a life peer in 1997. Which famous partnership is that? Bill?
Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice.
Yes, indeed. Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber. The Bayeux Tapestry commemorates the Norman invasion of 1066. Which event is commemorated in the Overlord embroidery, which is... Bill?
The D-Day invasion.
Yes, indeed.
Of Europe.
It's 272 feet long and kept in a museum at Southsea in Hampshire. Eric Arthur Blair, David Cornwell and John Chaney all changed their names and achieved fame in which field? Bill?
They wrote books.
Yes, they did. They were George Orwell, John le Carre and Jack London. 3 correct answers. The choice is yours. Question or nominate?
Question.
Mathematics. What is 3/5 expressed as a decimal fraction?
0.6.
Question or nominate?
Question.
In which city are the famous Hermitage Museum, the Winter Palace and St. Isaac's Cathedral?
Used to be Leningrad at St. Petersburg.
It is. Question or nominate?
Question.
Derived from a comic strip which first appeared in the New York Globe in 1913, which idiomatic expression means, quote, trying to maintain the same living standards as one's neighbours?
Keeping up with the Joneses.
That's where it came from. Question or nominate?
Question.
Sailing. If you sail due east from Sydney in Australia and from Christchurch in New Zealand, your first landfalls would be in the same country. Which country?
Chile.
On the South American coast. Question or nominate?
Question.
In the 16th century, who or what were the Duke of Exeter's daughter and Scavenger's daughter?
Were they punishment machines?
Yes, they were instruments of torture. Question or nominate, Bill?
Question.
Launched in 1953, in January of 1997, it left Portsmouth on its last official tour. What did?
The Royal Yacht Britannia.
Question or nominate?
Question.
In the game of chess, what is promotion?
It's when a pawn reaches the far side of the board and is given another rank.
Yes, indeed. Usually, but not always a queen. Okay. Question or nominate, Bill?
Don't play chess. Question, please.
Greek mythology. What name is given to the nymphs of the lakes, rivers and springs?
The Naiads.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Parliament. With reference to voting, what is the principal difference between the Speaker of the House of Commons and the Speaker of the House of Lords?
Speaker of the House of Commons can vote to maintain the status quo.
No, it's not quite enough. The Speaker of the House of Commons has a casting vote. The Speaker of the Lords has an ordinary vote. Fingers back on the buzzers, please. What sort of sea creature is a Portuguese man of war? Bill?
Jellyfish.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Films. Who is this? Before she was 14, she had played in films A Gangster's Mole, A Murderess and a Prostitute. She won Oscars for The Accused and The Silence of the Lambs. She directed her first film, Little Man Tate, in 1991. Her name, please?
Jodie Foster.
Question or nominate?
Question.
By what acronym is the Freedom Organisation for the Right to Enjoy Smoking Tobacco better known?
Fresh.
Forest. Fingers back on the buzzers, please. Roman Britain. The name, please, of the defensive barrier stretching from Bowness to Wallsend in the north of Britain. Bill?
Hadrian's Wall.
Question or nominate?
Estelle.
Estelle, before he was Deputy Governor of Jamaica in the mid-17th century, what was Sir Henry Morgan's occupation?
He's a pirate.
Question or nominate?
Richie.
Richie, Swanage, Weymouth and Lyme Regis are on the coast of which county?
Dorset.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Bill, please.
Bill, the flag of the United States, the Stars and Stripes. 50 stars, how many stripes?
13.
Question or nominate?
Estelle.
Estelle, who in 1966 caused international uproar by suggesting that he and his 3 friends were then more popular than Jesus Christ.
John Lennon.
Yes, the 3 friends being the other Beatles. Question or nominate, Estelle?
Bill.
Bill, look at this, please. Media. What's this mean in a media context? Chanel, Pedwar, Cymru.
It's a Welsh channel of some sort. I think it must be a Welsh TV channel.
It is, but what is it? Which one?
Channel 4,
It
Wales.
is. It is Channel 4 in Wales, S4C. Question or nominate?
Estelle.
Estelle, where did Napoleon live from 1815 until his death in 1821?
St. Helena.
Question or nominate?
Richie.
Richie, which female Christian name, coined by J.M. Barrie and Peter Pan, is synonymous with a child's playhouse?
Tinkerbell.
Wendy, as in Wendy House. Estelle?
Bill.
Bill, astronomy. What term describes a region, possibly a collapsed star or other body, from which light and matter cannot escape?
A black hole.
Question or nominate?
Estelle.
Estelle, this is film stars again. We've had Jodie Foster. Who is this? He lost a finger in The Big Sky in 1952, an ear in Lust for Life in 1956, and an eye in The Vikings in 1958. He was stabbed with
Douglas.
scissors in Ace in the Hole. Pardon?
Kirk Douglas.
It is Kirk Douglas. You didn't have to interrupt, but I'll carry on just to tell you what you were in for. He was stabbed with scissors in Ace in the Hole, rolled in barbed wire in Man Without a Star, and crucified in Spartacus. He's had a tough movie life, that young Kirk, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Question or nominate?
Bill.
Bill, Richard Avedon, Henri Cartier-Bresson, and Robert Capa are famous names in which field?
Photography.
Question or nominate?
Richie.
Richie, BBC Radio 4, Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. What programme is on?
The World at One.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Bill, please.
Bill, this is still Radio 4 and on the same subject. What is on at 1 p.m. on Sundays?
The World this weekend.
Question or nominate?
Richie.
Richie, which city was the most frequent subject of paintings by the artist Canaletto?
Venice.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Bill, please.
This is films again, Bill. Gone with the Wind. What's the name of the estate of the O'Hara family in Gone with the Wind?
Tara.
Question or nominate?
Estelle.
Estelle, famous sayings. If you're not part of the solution, what?
You don't know the answer?
You're part of the problem. Again, please, Bill.
Estelle.
Estelle, at £400, which is the most expensive property on a British monopoly board?
Mayfair.
It is. Question or nominate?
Richie.
Richie, the animal world. What sort of creature is a pipistrelle?
It's a bat.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Bill, please.
Bill, this is silent movies. You've got a full dish of movies today. The Sheik and the Son of the Sheik. The star of those films, please.
Rudolph Valentino.
Question or nominate?
Estelle.
Estelle, aviation. Which aircraft celebrated the 21st anniversary of its first commercial flight in January of this year?
Concorde.
Question or nominate?
Richie.
Richie, what was built by Shah Jahan in India in the 17th century in memory of his favourite wife?
Taj Mahal.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Bill, please.
Bill, how many yachts compete in the final round for the America's Cup?
2.
Yes, one challenging and one defending.
Estelle.
Estelle, Shakespeare, what sort of characters are Touchstone, Feste and Lavache in Shakespeare plays?
The clowns.
Yeah, or jesters? Question or nominate?
Bill.
Bill, the Bible, the Old Testament. Who was the first king of Israel?
Saul.
Question or nominate?
Estelle.
Estelle, geology. What is magma? M-A-G-M-A.
Oh, he's part of the Earth's crust, but...
It isn't. It's lava or molten rock. Well, I have to say, of all the games we've ever had of 15-1, I think my heart started to beat at around question 21. Bill, I have to say, I wish you hadn't done that.
I wish I hadn't done it.
I began to wish halfway through, I hope that Richie gets rid of him, for goodness sake.
I was trying.
Well,
I
what
was
can
hoping
I
this would
say?
help me, but
233. Let me start with you first, Richie. 53 and 2 lives left. Estelle, 73 and 1 life left. And Bill, 233. 10 for that, 243. Position number 2 on the finals board. A place in the grand final. And please do not do that again. Well done, Richie.
yeah, thank you.
And well done, Bill. That's it. We'll be back on Monday. See you then. Oh, God.
William G is actually back tomorrow at 4. Next, there's a new champ, a new challenger, and a dazzling jacket and tie in Countdown.